Tanse, and welcome to Kla-How-Ya. My name is Leonard Howell. Kla-How-Ya Television is brought to you by First Nations Friendship Centre at 2902 29th Avenue in Vernon. My very special guest on this show is Rick Sagayadan, director of Kla-How-Ya Television. Hi, Rick.
How you doing, Len?
Welcome to the show again. It wasn't too long ago you were on the show before, and we chatted a little bit about new things that were happening for Kla-How-Ya. Let's talk a bit more today about the new directions that we're taking with the show.
A couple of weeks ago, I was on the program talking briefly about the progress of Kla-How-Ya reaching its 20th year. It's being recognized more of a communications program of the Friendship Centre, involving the television show, the video production, and now heading into the new direction, which is, I guess, the multimedia aspects of communications. But in regards to the TV program, we're starting to, working with you closely, and our new partner with Kla-How-Ya, Rose Alexis, is that we're going to try to create themes. We've talked a little bit about this regarding it during the month, about about things happening in the community and across the Okanagan. And I'm hoping that like March coming up is Eliminate Racism Month, so we're going to have programs involving that kind of support to eliminate racism. That's just an example.
That's coming up in March, I believe.
That's right, yeah. Real quick. And March 21st is the Elimination of Racism Day, and we've got videos already produced in regards to Native perspectives and how racism is happening still today, real strong here in Vernon. And I hope that the viewers will watch the series that we're going to air in March regarding the elimination of racism. And the one that we're going to focus on is racism in Canada. And that'll involve scenes shot here in Vernon about a foster child who grew up with a non-Native family and how that experience has affected her life until the present. And it's a good story.
Great story. And there'll be more stories, of course, with more videos. Getting back to the racism month and how it hurts our community is, I work with self-esteem programs and healing programs, and I noticed that I've talked to people like Bob Jones, and racism hurts people in a very deep, deep way. Just when you seem to be getting back on your feet, someone comes along and knocks your own heritage and it sets you back down a bit. Gee, I thought I was doing well. And, of course, it doesn't help the well-being of our community.
No.
So.
Yeah. Well, what's happening in a lot of communities is that there's groups that are activists in regards to educating the public in that racism is a disease and it does exist and it's passed on through generations, and in regards to how it affects the daily lives of our community. We can't help but face the world as different cultures, and Canada is a multicultural country. Canada still has to recognize Aboriginal people as the Aboriginal people of Canada. I think that'll start then once we get that kind of recognition, and then go on from there. Because people that come here from 100 years ago, 200 years ago, are laying claim, saying they are Canadians, and they are Canadians in that regard. But when you use Native as themes in tourism, and in regards of promoting Nativeness, maybe you can go all the way across. And it's a big issue right now in British Columbia with treaty talks and land claims and land questions. Here in the Okanagan, it's a good understanding of the general public to hear negative and positive, and to hear both sides and weigh it out, and don't judge. Because what you hear in the news is, what do you call it, hyped up.
Exactly.
And you should try to hear both perspectives and try to live together.
Some examples of subtle racism would be like, for instance, someone using a Native name or for a hockey sweater or a team or whatever, and not paying any dues or having any respect for that Native group. For instance, you see that in professional sports a lot. And that was brought up at the Niagara conference, that these people were never asked, the people in the Chicago area, for instance, and they were never asked whether they could use the Blackhawks, as a sweater. And this is something that comes up. It's a very subtle form, because the Native people never receive any benefits from that being used. And it's used across the board. It's used in commercialism with not only sports teams, but other products, where the actual Native people, our people, Aboriginal people, never receive any benefit from these labels or these names coming on even whether we even want these labels.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we want to be somebody knowing us as braves, I would rather be known as a
First
modern,
Nations people.
First Nations people, not a brave. You know, and so it's like somebody coming out with a team called the Savages or something, and nobody's asked us, you know, even if we want that even to be out there in the world. So that's a serious problem. That's a very subtle form of racism.
I sit in the Social Planning Council's Race Relations Committee, sponsored by Social Planning, where various groups from the area sit in and plan events. And there's going to be a big happening in March 21st in regards to awareness and education of the community. And I'm glad to be a part of that. And the First Nations Friendship Centre supports programs such as that. And nowadays, tough times are coming up ahead. There's cutbacks happening across Canada. It's going to affect Friendship Centre programs. It's going to affect our communications programs directly, because we're sponsored by the Friendship Centre. But we're hoping that we can continue to do what we do best, and that is try to do the Kla-How-Ya show on the 20th year. That's going to be next year. Build up to that, and continue to produce the quality programming that the only native programming that's in the valley here in the Okanagan, and we hope that people will continue to tune in on with us.
That's exciting things. Exciting stuff coming up for us.
It's pretty exciting, actually, that you come on board this year as new host. Started out as guest host, and the way it's working out, you're loving it, and that's great. And you found a place. Somebody came up to me and said, watched the Leonard show the other night, and says, gee, Leonard's getting more popular than Kla-How-Ya, which is great, because that's what it's all about. It's the Leonard show, it's the Kla-How-Ya show, you know. And I started out that way too, you know, people started calling me. I had a nickname, Saggy Carson, there for a while.
Saggy Carson.
That's how long I've been in there. Johnny Carson's retired 10 years ago already.
Now I get to be Jay Leno. So.
That's right, hey. And it's really fun, and it's enjoying to see the development. And by the way, the show I saw last week, you know, with your group, with Terry Volcano and Manfred, was just fantastic.
A lot of interesting stories of parallels of people from Central America.
Yes.
Some of the plights of the people we talked a little bit. We would like to even go further on, and some of the things that injustices that are happening to natives down there, and they're in the same situation as we are here with racism and poor poverty. You know, life in the reserves, life in small villages, urban native problems, and we could almost do another program again, just concerning those.
Yeah, and it's really important for the viewers to know that treaty talks, land claims talks, is to break away from that Indian Act, which is developed by the Europeans who came here 100 and somewhat years ago and developed that, and that's what that's all about, is to break away from that, because that has a lot to do where the Native people are at today, and they want to break away from that. So they want to break away from the social problems, and by governing themselves. I think that's what they got to think about from that perspective. They don't want to stay on the program that the government that was written 100 years ago. They want to break away from that and develop their own healthy communities.
Because times have changed, and
Exactly.
the world has changed a lot. We have modern communications. First Nations people are involved very, very much in the world of communications, internet, radio, television, cyberpress, all kinds of, CD-ROM. I've been to a NAJA conference. I've been to Vancouver as well as Washington, and I've seen what our people are. We're stepping forward. We're actually the leading edge in a lot of places. We're at the leading edge of a lot of these communication programs, and it's nice to see that we are a leading edge type of. We have a whole different perspective of looking at the world that we all live in than what we've normally seen as the mainstream media.
It's important to know that the Native culture is about the environment. And what Native people talk about today is the environment and the preservation of the environment, and to start everybody to think back. And it's a real interesting times, and Native issues are in the forefront of the newspaper and in the television, and it's important that we try to open up that communications, and that's what Kla-How-Ya is. We want to hear your views about the perspectives of what we talk about in this program. You know, we're at the Friendship Centre. And in Leonard, you represent, Kla-How-Ya so fantastically being on air, and we enjoy that, and we like to see you. Leonard's not going to be here forever. He's, it's going to go on, so we're just going to have to enjoy while you're here.
Of course, Rick or myself, we're always available to chat with if you have an idea or a concern for the Kla-How-Ya show. Give us a call at 542-1247. That's 542-1247 at the Friendship Centre, and just ask for Leonard Howell or Rick Sagayadan of the Kla-How-Ya crew. You know, we'd always love to take your concerns or your ideas. If you have something that you'd like to bring up on a show concerning the native world, we'd certainly invite people, viewers out there, to come on the show, or if they'd like to.
Well, I just want to say that before we end the interview is the fact that, you know, Kla-How-Ya is an entertainment, and what we try to talk about here are some personal feelings that both Len and I have shared often on air. But the fun part of the program is coming right up, and that's the music part, and I really enjoy listening to the music. It's another way of communicating. You know, I love that. And you've got a special guest today to sing with you, Len.
Yeah, Manfred he's coming on today, so he's invited me to, he's invited you to come out to have a burger one time. He makes a great hamburger, by the way. So he said, Rick's got to have one of my burgers. So. But yeah, it's, I notice the community. I travel out to the reserve quite often, as well as I meet with a lot of urban people and urban native people in the city. And I have a lot of friends throughout the valley. I see the pride of the Okanagan people here right in the valley. And I've really learned to love, and not learned to love, but because I loved it as soon as I walked into this valley. But I realized and started to see how deep the waters run within the native hearts of this valley, and how the Okanagan people are so proud of their own heritage and their own country. And this is a beautiful, beautiful part of the country. And it really does belong to the Okanagan people.
And like Kla-How-Ya is an Okanagan program, and it's not only a native program, but it's a community program. And having Manfred, who's got his own Manfred's guitar, his own show, and being part of Kla-How-Ya, it just gets to show that we're working together here in the network to get the message across, and we have similar messages. And I'm really glad I'm looking forward to hearing the music part.
Yeah, Kla-How-Ya again is such a community-based program. We like to work with all groups and hear concerns from other groups, and it's going to be that communication bridge that is going to end racism. It's going to end prejudice. It's in communicating. It's in speaking to each other, and people viewing and visiting our native culture and saying, "Gee, I really enjoyed that play that St. Clip put on. It helped me to understand something that was in your past." And the more understanding we have of each other, the more the racism has no place in our hearts and our lives anymore.
And in the topic of racism, I think it's really important to talk to your children about what racism is, because there's a clear understanding. I grew up and I didn't know racism, and when someone called me down about my skin color or what I looked like, how come I was so different, I actually wanted to be white, because I felt like there was something wrong with me because I wasn't white. And then if somebody would have just told me that that person is being racist to you, then I would have known that there was nothing wrong with me, and I was okay. And later on, I found that out, that it was good to be unique, and I found my strength. But it's important to pass that on to your children, so that to the school, because it's a hard life in the school.
That's right.
When you're a minority. I
travel to schools. Of course, you know that I do First Nations workshops with school children, and teach the children about our culture, our drums, what they mean, what the drum beat means, and what the dance is all about, the different dances, and the significance of the powwow, the significance of ceremony, ritual, and how important it is to our culture. And I notice there's a lot of things, stereotypes that the children bring up, and they don't understand these stereotypes, and they just say them out. They say, "Are you a real Indian?" Or they say, "Do you know the Indian in the cupboard?" Or, you know, things like that. They see things on television and mainstream media, and they don't understand that. So they just say it out, and this is where you really see, where you really hear and see these subtle things that are coming up. That parents, it's important for parents to help the children understand that there's an importance, and everyone has a chance to be who they are.
That's right.
We are,
and to be proud for who you are, and to know that everybody's unique in its own way, and appreciate them for their uniqueness. And that's the fantastic part about it, that we're all different, not only in our ethnic background, but in personalities.
I saw somewhere in Vancouver, I think it was a poster saying "Celebrate the Differences."
Yes.
And that was, you know, during P&E, and
Good line.
Really touched my heart. You know,
I think so. I think we should, you know, if everybody would be the same, wouldn't that be really boring?
Gee, you don't have to look in the mirror anymore. It's just,
oh boy.
Yeah. So.
Well, Len, I want to thank you for my weekly or bi-weekly coming on Kla-How-Ya. I've been on Kla-How-Ya a little bit more than usual, but thank you for having me, Len.
Yeah, thank you for coming on the show, and I'm looking forward to the new directions that Kla-How-Ya has taken, and I have to pass on a big thank you to Rose Alexis for giving us a great big hand, along with Tricia Stewart and Terry Volcano
and Judy Manuel for these are the freelancers and volunteers that continue to work with the communications program to make sure that the Native perspective is being heard out there. It's sort of a window for Native people to express their artistic, their music, their interpersonal feelings about the world.
That's right. We can't forget Dwayne Marchand.
Yes, of course. Dwayne is an inspiration. He's here in the studio today. Thank you, Len.
Visiting us. So thanks to all those people, and of course the staff of the Friendship Centre. We've all sat together. We've sat down together and worked out, masterminded some new plans, some new directions, and Kla-How-Ya is going to become even more exciting.
That's right.
Show than it already is. Thank you again, Rick.
Okay.
And we'll see you soon.
And I'm looking forward to the music section.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. It'll be right after the break. Thank you for having Rick on the show, and we'll see you after the break.
Standing as the parade, for it's farewell tonight, for the rhyme it's your right hand, and I may never see your face again, but I know you'll be alright, while hearts will always mend. I just wish this world would come to an end. Forget her eyes, for it's farewell tonight, for the Rhine it's your right hand, but I may never see your face again, but I know you'll be alright, while hearts will always mend, and I just wish this road would come to an end. Take away.
Plains Farewell. That was dedicated to Rick Sagayadan. He was just looking
Rick.
so forward to hearing that song.
Keep bumping into him.
Just on the other part of the show there. Yeah, you saw him just
He's
recently.
a good guy.
Yeah.
Your benefactor.
Yes, my partner in crime.
Yeah.
Well, not crime, but
Yeah, he got you involved in this Kla-How-Ya stuff.
it's been fun.
Yeah.
I'm at about 9 shows or something now. So.
Right. Now we're having contests. Got to get Leonard on my show. Got to get Fred on my show.
Yeah, I got to get back.
And isn't it great that we're able to provide, what do we call it, what we're doing? Fun?
Fun.
Music?
Just music and fun. It's great to have in the show. And
Yeah.
that was a tune that we performed at Light Is On, and we performed at a few other outdoor venues. And
We had what do you call it?
Braden Wise.
Boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom,
Braden
boom.
Wise on a big old stand-up bass.
Right.
Providing the foundation of that song. And,
Yeah, that was fun. I got to play my El Wanko, the electric thing.
Yeah,
Right.
that was.
That's
that
a
was
liberating
beautiful.
thing for me.
That's
Yeah.
is that a telly?
Oh, it was a Strat. No, it was a telly.
Yeah.
But I like doing that because you're the only person that I can have fun playing electric guitar with. That makes me feel good because it gets me away from the rubber string job.
Rubber string. Yeah. I play steel strings only, but
So-
I have a new album coming out, Manfred. And
That's right.
And I'm working with you.
Yeah, on me and with me
with
both. Yeah.
Working with you on a new
Yeah.
album of yours.
That's right.
Graceful Fire. But my
That's right.
album that's coming out at the end of March is going to be pretty interesting. It's called The Red Road,
Right.
and dedicated to people who are walking their truth and they're walking their path, healing.
Dedicated to the ones you love.
That's right. And there's a lot of new tunes on there. Six brand new tunes. Remakings of some of the old Traveler ones off the tape that people have purchased. And that little tape
Yep.
has gone to 31 countries of the world. In fact, it gets radio airplay in Spain.
Oh.
So
that's a long way from here to Cherryville.
I wish I could travel out there, but some of those places it's playing. But I guess I went with my tape.
Yeah,
and,
well, the traveling is all in the head, isn't it?
yeah, that's right. It's all in the mind. So
And speaking of traveling, tell them about where I am for a couple of seconds. Great
yeah,
Scott.
you're traveling
now in cyberspace.
as we speak.
Right now.
He is traveling in virtual space.
Because
on.
the
I mean, I knew
internet.
you were spaced out sometimes, but
Yeah, the internet. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, the internet thing, right? The internet.
I'm spaced out sometimes
Yeah.
too. So
Well, isn't it great to know that there's
Yeah.
possibly life
Yeah,
out there? I
exactly.
mean, at least we're prepared for it.
Yeah.
Not only that, but hey, when the Martians come, I can do the Martian national anthem. Check it out. Right.
here we go.
That's the
So
Martian
that's for all-
national anthem for all
that's
those
for-
spaced out guitar players.
That's
out
for
there.
the cyberheads.
here on
The
Kla-How-Ya for
cyberheads
the
out
first
there
time.
watching the internet. They happen to see the internet. They can look for Telnet. I'm not
right.
sure of the exact address, but
Yeah, so we're doing a big thing with the pulling all the musicians together in the Okanagan through a new company that you'll be hearing about very, very soon. So we've
Yeah,
got
we're all
Kevin
involved.
Keeneline just signed on.
and some more.
Shirley Field.
Hopefully, some more native musicians like myself. People from Kelowna as well as
Yeah.
all over the valley.
But
And,
you're lucky. You're lucky. You with your stuff. It's great. You know, the strumming and the singing. God, I have to. Whenever I do something, I have to sort of watch it. I don't fall off the fingerboard. It's precarious. It really is. I wish sometimes I could sing.
Well, you do
Yeah.
sing sometimes. I've heard you sing and, at
Yeah.
home, and you've sang on stage. You do a great, Buddy Holly.
Yeah,
So,
but not a good singer. Mrs. Bosworth always said, Manfred, go to the paper cutting out classroom when we do the choir. always in grade 5 and grade 6. Manfred, go away because don't sing, please.
I got the same thing, and it didn't let it stop me. I sang anyway. I drove him crazy and sang anyway.
Another song?
Yes, I do. I have a beautiful song that I'd like to dedicate to those people out there that are struggling with racism, and we know that it's still a very strong, apparent thing that's happening in our own country, in our own neighborhood. And I wrote a song that's on the new album, Red Road,
Oh,
and it's called Spirit Rising.
have
And
I
it's-
played on it before?
Yes,
Do I
you
know this
have.
tune?
Yes, you know this one.
Are you
And
kidding? Really?
I believe you do. Yeah, we
Okay,
played
what
it.
key-
We
okay,
played
sorry.
it in your living room, in your very living room. I was sitting
Sorry?
on that nice couch of yours.
Okay, let's see what the recall does then. Okay.
And anyway, this song is talking about the new spirit that's emerging, the
Right.
spirit of unity, the spirit of humanitarianism, where we can end things like racism and prejudice.
Good.
Because the whole album Red Road is about healing, about going into the new age that we're heading into, the year 2000. And I'm excited about I'll be on cyberspace with you.
That's right.
Floating out there somewhere.
I know, I can see it. Two angels
Yeah.
winging away.
Holding our guitars and the wings back there.
When the peace comes in the valley, you and I will be there.
We'll have the halos or the headbands.
I'll grow wings.
That's it, yeah.
What do we got there then?
So we've got this song called Spirit Rising, and it talks about the children of the earth and how we all are the children. And
Where do I put my finger?
before we play the song, I want to remind you too that don't forget we've got to start getting busy. We're going to be having a great show coming up at the somewhere in Vernon, a legendary rock and roll show. It's called
yes.
Concert of Dreams. So
Yes.
watch for posters, and Manfred and I will be on that.
I won't be talking about it. I'll just be doing it. But
Yeah, that's right.
we'll take turns
So
working
here-
together. That's a wonderful thing for the kids and the people.
Yeah, and that's through the Center for Positive Living. The
Concert of Dreams.
That's right. The Okanagan Center for Positive Living is going to sponsor that. So
I
here
hear
we
the
go
Big
with
Bopper's coming.
Big Bopper, Elvis Presley,
Yep.
and as well as Roy Orbison, and possibly Jim Morrison from the Doors. So,
All right.
so it's going to be fun.
So this one is, and Mr. Hawley, Charlie Harden.
That's right, Buddy Holly.
Mr. Now you heard it on Kla-How-Ya for the first time, right?
That's right.
So what are we doing there?
We're going to do Spirit Rising. And we'll
Take it
go-
away and
we'll
I'll
go
sort of
with this.
filter into it somehow.
Okay. Thanks for watching Kla-How-Ya again.
If love be your reason, then truth shall be your light. For life is but a season, and hope is day and night, and faith is the song you sing. That freedom holy can bring. Love be your reason, then love shall set you free. Spirit rising, a new day dawns, and all the world is waking. Old world responds, hearts afire, wind on the wings, the phoenix has risen, a new day begins. The children see forever, their paths are lit by the sun. With Mother Earth and Father Sky, in legend they shall be as one.